that killer goose attacked my wife and my two small children, 6 and 4, when they came to church yesterday. They got out of the car and they did not realize that they were parked close to its nest. And my 4-year-old son was completely unfazed. He's like, "Oh, silly goose." But my daughter got between him and the goose to draw it away so that he would be safe. How cool is that? And then it chased her and she ran towards the nest and it was like flying and flapping and hissing. It was over her, kicking her and pecking her and whacking her with its wings. And my wife goes out there and is fighting it with her purse. And they're telling, I'm not there. I'm the pastor. I was already here. I was inside. I was teaching a class or something. And so they tell me about it later, and it sounds very funny to me because I wasn't there. But my daughter's still pretty freaked out about it. And Ashley, my wife, told me that she would have been terrified if she could have been. It's like, what do you mean? And she's saying, well, if the goose was chasing me, I would have been scared. But the goose was chasing my kids, so I went to fight it. And I've been thinking about that because it is a lot of times true that our response to the situation depends on how we understand ourselves in that situation. Who we think we are in that moment changes the way we respond to it. Are we being chased by a goose, or are we protecting our kids from a wild animal, right? Who you think you are changes how you respond to things. And I see so many Christians acting like they're being chased by a goose. The church acts so, I was going to say weak, but that's not the word I want to use, because the opposite of that is thought of as like strength. This isn't a prepared video. The church acts like a cornered animal, at least in the United States. The church that I grew up in, evangelicalism in the United States, acts like a cornered animal. They act persecuted. They're not. They act persecuted. They act powerless. They act like they're everyone's against them and they're in danger. They don't act like they are the children of God. They don't act like they're empowered by the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. They don't act like they have a deep friendship with the God of the universe. Our connection to Jesus should make us fearless and obedient. What do I mean? One, you don't need to be scared of nothing if you are in relationship with God, right? God's got this. Even if that means, like, everyone loves to quote the Jeremiah passage. I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and give you a hope and a future. That was said to people that were going to spend the next 40 years in exile. Like, you don't want that to be your life verse. But all that to say, God having your back, you being taken care of, does not mean that everything is going to be nice or easy or friendly or fun. But it does mean that you don't need to worry. That's a direct command from Jesus, by the way. Don't worry. Don't be anxious about anything. There should be a quiet confidence and a strength in the heart, mind, and soul of the Jesus follower that compels prophetic and radical obedience to Jesus. What does that mean? That means we don't pick fights. It means we don't look for a strong man to protect the church. That means we aren't jerks on the internet. It means that we live our lives confident in who we are and the way that we're called to live because we know who we are in relation to Jesus. That's my thought for the day. Go live like you mean.